Seize the day. Seize the day. I wanna have conversation.
Hello everyone, hey Sunbeam Stick.
Even when I hum quietly, I know they're listening. They are the only voices that I wanna hear. In the still silences.
Yeah, what a good timing, Sunbeam Stick. It's destiny. Welcome. You're the first one in the chat. 1 minute ago, wow. Yeah, that's destiny. I'm kidding. Hello everyone on this late night for me in the Netherlands. And thank you for joining me, and especially the people from abroad. Because, yeah, it is a better time for, I believe, abroad. Maybe I am also new for a lot of people, because usually I stream a bit earlier. But I will first let the music finish. So, I always nice music, this song. Yeah, I love it. And seize the day. That's for me a very nice expression as well. So for, yeah, of course, the people who already know me, friends who already know me on so many platforms, I'm live streaming simultaneously as well, 6 at least. Welcome. I thought I go live early, not earlier, I want to say earlier. I'm usually earlier live, and I talk about me being a former MKultra, coming from full mind control. Well, I had already for a while the idea and wish to stream later in the evening, and yeah, I could organize it for tonight because I'm streaming just in my living room. And so I have to deal with, well, cooperating with the other members here in the house, family members. So I love to talk about who I am. And in this way, by having chosen to go live later, for me later, then I can maybe explain what MKultra is, and yeah, hope to see you more often, or subscribe, follow, like, share my social media and so on, and get to know me better, and also, yeah, abroad, to get to know more about my MKultra. And let me first introduce myself. I'm Monique Wallace, and I am now since end of 2010, I am staying inside my residence, and that is happened to be also the one I am living in now here. Before 2010, I moved a lot in the Netherlands. I live in the Netherlands somewhere, and I keep where I live private for certain reasons, but also for safety reasons, because I come from MKultra, which stands for, well, Mind Control Ultra, which is a term used. You can look it up also on Wikipedia, that it's proven that it exists and mind control exists. And I have been calling it MKultra as well, because I am, yeah, it's a short term for what for me describes best what I had to undergo from already very little, when I was, well, I believe, already as a baby, which is the case in the deep state and MKultra. So the MKultra is what I chose to use, but it's called full mind control, and as well monarch programming. And I have also military programming, so free, all put in my personality. And I like to explain what is MKultra and what is mind control and what is full mind control and what and how it has been done to me. So mind control is already a very well-known word, of course, and I think MKultra as well. I see it a lot more everywhere, but my mind control has been done already when I was a baby. As far as I know, I was born in a deep state family, pretty well-known family, 2 family lines actually. I don't want to go too much into that, because as always, I bump into a major threshold. Like, I have no proof. I can only prove, what I can prove is that I stayed inside my residence with a dear friend who supports me and gives me shelter and material stuff which is needed for live streaming, for example. And I live, overall very, very modest life, and I can truly say that because it is the truth. So I live majority inside, but I come outside a bit more since I started live streaming, because life is life and I want to live, and I freed myself. My personality is now free, and I can, that is the whole journey of deprogramming from MKultra, that my mind and my personality was in the grip of what I call programmers, like literally like you program a computer programming. Well, actually, it is the same. What has been done to me, only that I am of course no computer. I'm a person, and the programmers they started already when I was very, very extremely little. So as baby, as I told, because I was born in these 2 crossing of bloodlines, important bloodlines. Let's keep it to that. Maybe I will one day release my what I've seen in the birth certificates, my full name, what I've seen in birth certificates, but I don't dare to yet. Maybe when the world is a bit safer, also for me, and I'm still longing for getting the proof out, or someone who says, I know Monique. And I use the name Monique. My other name is Tara, so Monique Tara Wallace, or for us, some countries it's Tara, Monique Tara Wallace. But Monique, I love, my name Monique. I feel best with the name Monique. So as baby, it has been done, and it has to be done as little as possible, to create multiple personalities, because that is what MKultra is creating personalities, so that these personalities are independent from the other personality and can act independently from the other personality. So it is to compare with, like you're in a country with several cities, and even you can broaden it with that 5, 6 for countries all speak different languages, and that in these countries you have all kinds of cities, villages, all kinds of different people. Well, and they don't know from each other, and that's a very rough comparison with how personalities work. But in these personalities, which are split ups, that's another word, or alters, so ALTERS, and not ALTARS, because that's different. That's why I say personalities. These are being created and built on core split. core split is as baby being so traumatized, and my basic trauma was to put me in an aquarium tank, and then I had to have the feeling of that I would suffocate. And I was hooked to all kinds of tubes, to machines, of course, to check my heart rate and so on. But I had to have the feeling that I was drowning. Another trauma is, sadly enough, a lot of electroshocks in the most horrific ways. Elements like fire and earth. I was also buried alive. I was put in a coffin, I was put in refrigerators, I was put in holes in the ground, I was put in water pits, I was put in deep holes together with cat bodies, which were thrown in as well. And some of these cats I used to know. So that was to put up extra trauma. I also was put once when I was very little, 2.5 years, that I was put in a water well, in a bucket, and then they lowered me, and then in the bottom of that well was then water, and that water was icy cold, and they had added some rats. So I had to be traumatized, and it was not one time, no, it had to be repeated on and on and on and on. And I all recovered these relivings and these memories by literally reliving them. All of what I mention in live streams is what I have gone through in the deprogramming here, in this safe haven, in this residence with a dear friend of mine who shelters me and guides me in this already for so long, even from 2000. Because there I came across the first break of my programming, which I did not know at that time. But to come back to these personality splits, so then I only talk about the core split. So I have very vivid memories of what I spoke about, of putting in a well, and I was buried alive, as I said. But for example, also that I had to think I was put in a desert, and then in the desert I was also buried with only my head up from the surface. And I did not have that once, but I had it several times. And the elements, trauma-based with elements like fire, earth, water, and so on, and also air, by the way, because I was many times hooked to heart machines to check my heart, of course, but also with my lungs. I had a lot of traumas with air as well, that I would suffocate, and that is why I also was put in coffins already when I was very little. And then yes, also the sand was put on top of it. So these kind of traumas is only hearing one, I know it's a lot. And I make a summary of who I am, and yeah, this is who I am and where I came from. And I do my story about my MKultra because, yeah, I know more people talk out loud what they experienced. I feel from 6 years old already, even in my split up personality, I feel and felt already kind of mission, and I am very connected to what I call the creator or God. Maybe not for everyone is God a reality, for me is, and for me it's a knowing, it's not even a feeling, it's not even belief, it is a knowing, because thanks to God and angels I survived, and not just one time but many times. In my whole recovery of these 20 plus years of deprogramming, I have relived at least 3 times that I had that my heart stopped and that I was revived, and also thanks to angels that I survived. But that is only, I say only 3 times because it was more times, but I don't know, maybe it's the later hour that I dare to actually witness or state that I at least was 3 times left for dead and revived. Luckily revived. And yes, I say luckily because I had already from 6 years old that I felt a mission. And I even have remains of a diary of when I was a teenager. And on my Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, I post all these drawings and images and so on, to give an image also about how my life was, but that I, as 7-year-old, already sketched things, and as teenager had a diary. And this diary, only a couple of pages I have left, and in black crayon I wrote down that I once will speak out, and that I also would speak out that love exists, true love, and that I would speak out one day. Well, I always hoped that I would speak out earlier than, the age I am now. I am 50 plus. And I regret that a lot of times. It's like I now only start to live life, because only a year ago, a bit more than a year ago, I started to do live streams. Also thanks to dear people I met on their social media, and that I dare to start to do my live talks, and with my dear friend here. And because I felt it was the right timing, and I was whole enough, because in 2023 I freed my core, and my core is nothing more than that. It says it already. The core is the center of who I am, with my personality, and this is why I guess I can do my talk. But there is a big but, because I thought I was totally free with my personality, but I have a military part in me, which is a giant inner grid system with personalities. And I'm still digging up the memories of my military black operations I had to do. But it is sadly enough still not fully recovered. But I have my core, so that's the great news. And I see Sunbeam Sting. For me, you talk about MKultra and all the things that happened in an understanding way. It made me understand MKultra way better, and also made me see the world with a new, even clearer than before way. For me, you are a brave person to talk all about this. Oh man. Oh, that gives, gosh, you give me tears in my eyes. And it's a good thing more and more people learn about this. Gee. Yeah, hey, you are on YouTube as well. Welcome everyone on YouTube. And it's so touching. So thank you so much, Sunbeam Sting. So, and for if there are questions, because it's the first time that I really am now in a later hour live, and my wish is to reach a much broader public than only, well, in Netherlands and the surrounding countries, because we all are a bit in the same time zone, of course. But I love to talk and more broaden my story, because what I do is that I talk about who I am, and I am who I am. And the people who watch my live streams know that I think I'm sometimes too spontaneous, but that I try to talk about this subject in a way that it maybe can be approachable, more approachable, and that I also chose to do that without being too angry or something, or loud, or emotional. I want to do it in an integral way, and with graphic details. Now I am on this late hour. I possibly will do more details of graphic maybe, but I still will always guide myself in not to go too deep in that the details will get too much of graphic details, if you know what I mean. Oh gosh. So, but to come back to in the chat, if you have questions or something is not clear enough, then please let me know, and I love to answer that your questions or what you want to share. So, this is a bit of an introduction. Well, it's a bit a tall introduction, but MKultra is not easy to explain. it is not simple to really, to explain exactly how and what it is. I believe it will help, but that's also my experience, that it's best to just hear it and then repeatedly maybe hear the same thing, then a bit more details and so on. And that was the reason why I kept doing my live streams on, because my whole deprogramming I also share in every live stream, by the way. And that is, I started already in 2021, I guess, but 2022 was really the year I started to do twice a week live streams. And I did 2 interviews with TVOP, and I was in a live stream with Barry Henderson. And yeah, that is amazing what happened from that moment on. That I started really to love live streaming, although it was often scary with my past, because I lived in my residence here for at that time more than 10 years, and in solitude. So because I had to stay safe for being captured again and to be reprogrammed and be taken, literally being taken to go back into that MKultra life. And I know that the programmers, I believe the programmers will never really let me go. Yeah, that's a fact, what I know from other MKultras. So I hope that this world, that I will witness that this world, this earth will be free. And in my live streams, I also talk about my military black ops, in the hope that it will open up more my knowledge, what is inside of still personalities who have not come to the surface. And at the same time, I hope it can contribute to that the world be free, that we can live, that we as humanity can be free. And that would be the day that everyone, every person, every human on earth, and also the beings, by the way, who are benevolent, that they can live on earth in freedom. And yeah, I'm very driven by that, and I feel that's why I say I have a mission. And yeah, it really feels like a kind of holy mission or something. And I'm far from holy, I'm far from perfect. If you would ask that here, they would say, no, she's not perfect, because that's another whole story, what I'm also talking about in the live streams. I am totally not perfect, and for sure living with deprogramming a former MKultra is not easy either. But I am so healed that it's now, going very well with me. I'm doing fine, actually pretty good, very, very good. Because also 2023, that's part of having so hard worked innerly, day and night, often nights, to heal myself and to become whole as a personality, to free my love, my self-love in me, and to love myself fully. And I believe that's the key to freedom. Love yourself. And it's not egoism. Ego, I feel that's my opinion. Everything is my own opinion. But that the ego is often misplaced as that you're egoistic or only think of yourself, or the ego. And the ego in the tarot also has a certain, that was a mosquito who wanted to bite me. Oh, yeah, this happens too in my live streams. Man, he was trying to to bite me here. We have mosquitoes in the Netherlands. And now I lost my train of thought. But my mission is truly to talk about who I am, what I experienced, and as well that I don't mention names. So for me it's very important, because in the MKultra, as former MKultra, I forgot to mention that when I was already very little, I was introduced to the first president, and it was in the USA. I had from mid-70s, I was monarch programmed for also being with especially the USA presidents from mid-70s. So then you have an idea. And until 2010, I was with every president. Every president. Yes, you hear me, every president. And yeah, that, and also president to be, or how you say that, who were doing elections, also a certain woman who would later on do an election. Hello, Artis Liberalis. Beautiful, beautiful name again. Nice to see you here. So, that's part of MKultra as well. That is why, for me, MKultra is not always for me the right term, but it is handy. It is, yeah. You know, it's a nice term, I think. But for me, with my full mind control, is the typical full mind control is that they are chosen. I was chosen. I will keep it by myself. I was chosen, and yeah, as I said, I came from bloodlines, two bloodlines actually, two important bloodlines. That's what's being said, and I do feel it, but I have no proof. So that's why I say it's being told, and I experienced it also in the deprogramming and in the relivings. And Artis Liberalis, MKultra is an interesting subject. Yeah, it is, and it is an extended subject, so extended that I even could not prepare what I would say or what I would talk about really. But I knew I will introduce myself. But it is indeed an interesting subject, yeah. And it's so broad, and I did not only have MKultra, because MKultra comes from, yeah, you can look on Wikipedia the exact years, but it was, I think, in 1950s or 1960s, very actual. And it came to the surface via files. And there is proof that it existed. And then officially it has been closed, and even a lot of documents are being pulled away, or kept hidden, or being or were gone when they wanted to, when the officials wanted to investigate it. That mosquito really bit me. Oh, thank you so much, Artis Liberalis. So nice of you to see you here. It's of course later in a later time. That's why I chose to go live. And it is late even for me, but as for some reason I am capable of doing my talk. So, and it's past 12 here in the Netherlands. I usually am already in my bed way before 11. So, but yeah, I am. I hope it's also a bit clear what I explained, because it is such a broad subject and so extended. So maybe that is the great thing, is that I am still doing live streams, and I can do that for so long now already. In my opinion, it feels like that, like more than a year, and exactly, a better time for people in the USA and Canada to watch it live. Yeah, exactly. And it was so sweet, because I asked the person here who comes always home from work after, late from work. And he was so sweet. He said, no problem. I grab my food in the kitchen and I will go upstairs. Well, that's very sweet, huh? So, and he saw already the whole studio. The majority of times I clean up the place here. So I'm living here with two other persons, of which the identities I will keep private, also on their request. And again, for safety, and the location I keep hidden where I live. So, and yeah, it is really nice to have people who understand me. Yeah, and they believe me. They know it's true, and that is so great. I don't always even maybe realize that, but it is very natural for them to see even in my behavior at times, which is typical for, well, coming from programming. The majority of what I experience as as reaction innerly in a personality change is that I change habits suddenly, or older patterns from years or as a teenager come back, or a kind of atmosphere a small example is that, for example, kind of subjects which have everything has a fixed place here. We live actually a bit like a monastery here, and that is really true. Hello, Barry, welcome. You're back on this late hour. Yeah, I'm doing it. I did go live, and but the mosquito bit me. So and he really bit me. So so what was I saying? Sometimes I lose my thread of thought. My train of thought. I forgot where I was. Oh yeah, that understanding, and that, for example, everything here has a fixed place. So here in the residence I live on my bedroom, and it's of course filled with stuff, but I hardly have any stuff left because I gave it away to other people, or to how you say that, organizations who could do something. Like even my bike, I had a great bike once 20 years ago, and I all gave it away. I had a beautiful mountain bike, all gave it away because I felt if I give it away, then that gave me a good feeling. It gave me just a good feeling. I didn't want to sell it. So the only thing what I did sell was my grand piano and my piano, 2 pianos, and that saddened me that I had to sell them because I did not have any space and I needed the money to continue the deprogramming and healing process. And I lived for quite some time on the savings and put everything in deprogramming, and then had to quit my work as pianist and musician. I was a conductor of choirs, and I was a professional pianist. I have my diploma for that. I did study conservatory, and I studied music therapy as well. So I had pretty okay work, and I loved me being a conductor and doing the choirs, and I still miss that. That will come back, I'm sure. But I had to quit with that because I started to get, the memories up to the surface, and not knowing that was actually already the signs of, that I had deeper layers in me, which I did not know at that time. And that was in 2000. In 2000, I got a giant burnout, and then I had gradually, in a few years, let go of my work, and I could only think of healing. And then, beginning of 2000, the first time that I noticed there was something wrong in me was that I was playing a church organ. That was during an orchestra, and an orchestra with a concert with the choir, and behind the grand piano. Those were 2 examples of that I felt I am going to faint. And I was playing the piano or the church organ. There happened that too, so it happened actually twice. And that I had the feeling that I was going out of my body, and that at the same time that something black came over me. So a black, almost like a black creature was inside of me, like a giant shadow, and it felt so dark and so awful. And then after that, I felt like intuitively, I felt now I need to seek for help. And then I did not want to go to professional help like a physician or something, because I was always scared of physicians. I was scared of everything what was had a medical degree. Now I know why, because I was also abused and sexually abused by several specialist physicians and so on. And I maybe will talk about that later on. So then I choose for that I suddenly saw a brochure of someone who gave a certain therapy, alternative therapy. And it is still my basic grounds and my basic way I help myself and get myself out of if it happens that I have relivings or flashback or new personalities coming to the surface. And the moment I stepped inside her office practice, was a woman of end 40s, and immediately there was a connection. And she was the one who immediately also believed me when I first came with some drawings from my past, of which I never shared what was on the drawing, but it was a drawing of that little soldiers were raping a girl, and also with a hanged man. So that's, I mean, of a little girl of 6, 7, 8 years old drawing things like this, that is a bit alarming, don't you think so? And I still remember when I sketched that, that was even in the presence of my parents, my Dutch parents and my Dutch grandparents. So there was, something off. But I think every pretty normal, and I mean normal with like a pretty harmonious family connection, then you can see when a child of 6, 7 years old sketches things like that military puppets raping a girl and hanged man. If you see a sketch like that, then I would, as a parent, immediately ask what's going on, or that there is something not right. I mean, that's, I think, healthy behavior. And and she was the one, and she looked at me when I showed her the drawing, and she saw me also getting smaller. So then she asked me, like, okay, go try to focus on that energy. Why are you so small? And then suddenly my first personality came to the surface, and I was that little girl. And always in all these sessions, these alternative sessions, in that practice, I was always present with my consciousness. So there started for me the conscious road of creating, I believe, also in my brains, that there would be a red thread, like continuous knowing and awareness of what happened in my life, and then it's like I felt like I was becoming that conductor or that director, and that I was leading the way, and I was the everlasting, steadfast leader of the inner personalities who came forward. And then when that drawing was shown, then things started like a roller coaster to surface. And the first memories were with the granddad and my Dutch dad. Later on also with the Dutch mom. And yes, I had often was forced to lie in between them. So, and I was actually a bit the second wife for the front dad. I call them front dad because, maybe I should explain that. But if anyone is not, if anyone has questions or is not understanding something, please mention it in the chat. And also welcome everyone on Rumble. I forgot if Rumble, dear people on Rumble. Also, if you're coming from abroad, or I love to get to know you. So please don't hesitate to say hi in the chat. Exactly, Barry. Q&A, you can ask me anything. And if something is not fitting, then you will hear me. I can perfectly and very well express what I like to answer or not. So don't hesitate to ask me anything you want, even if it's about details. And I will know, I will feel if I reach my borders. I do have to mention, like I am also on Rumble, and I'm on this late hour that I feel more free to possibly say more details. But I will always prevent that it will become too graphic. But it is, yeah, it is also nice to talk more freely, and that's what I notice in this late nightly hour. And this mosquito, I have to try not to scratch. Bad mosquito. So, yeah, I will look at the chat. Maybe there are questions, or are there people who see me for the first time, or, I don't know, of course. I see some I know already. So, thanks for being here also. Hey, Into Artis Liberalis, how many years were you MKultra? I was, no, come on. I was, that was a mosquito. That was not an air dance, but it looked like an air dance, an air ballet. How many years was I MKultra? I was MKultra from when I was born. Because already as baby, my first, my core, I had already these traumas. So let's say from, because I know some people don't think that you can remember things from as a baby, and I have memories from when I was a baby. But let's say from 1.5 years till, let's see, 2010. So that's approximately. Gee, I have to count. Approximately, it's the late hour, I believe. 40 years, approximately, if I say it right. Yeah, and then only started to free myself, and yeah, that's the sad thing. I'm already years ago in 2010. When I start to really phase that I was an MKultra, that was tough as well. But I thought, okay, now I know. So I was driven to get my whole personality and everything whole again inside of me. And I thought, well, maybe 3, 4, 5 years at the most. That did not happen, sadly enough. And it's now 2023. And I always hoped. I also never said that before, but I always hoped to be fully free as a personality before. Yeah, my biggest wish was also always to have still a child in freedom as a person. But I knew I will never get a child if I am still deprogramming. Yeah, now I passed the time that I can have children in freedom. Yeah, that is one of the most sad things I never shared before. So, and yeah, hello, Tony McKinley. Yeah. Thanks, welcome here. 40 years, that's a long time. Yeah, that is a long time. And I am feeling blessed that I, in 2000, already pulled up the first layer, and that first layer is a layer of often what I call the front layer, and that was in the Netherlands, in the Netherlands, where the front family, I call them front family because they abused me too, and I have forgiven them, I love them, I don't blame them anything, but they're not my family, and yeah, that first part comes forward, and that can be triggered, by the way. Every MKultra programming can spontaneous trigger. For example, with an accident, or with a meeting, or losing a programmer. So when a programmer dies, then, for example, or a handler dies, because there is a difference in handler and programmer, and I will explain that also in a bit. But a programmer is... the basic programmer is I have 4 basic programmers who designed my personality grid. And with personality grid, I mean the basics of that they wanted to have me my personality initially put in 2 splits and then in 4, but that I had 13 sections. So then you have to see it like 30, actually a bit like an Excel sheet, like 13 columns and 1 to 13. And I had one programmer which was called Dr. Green, and he was a famous evil doctor, famous evil physician in World War II. Yes, I met him. Yes, he was my basic programmer. It sounds science fiction, but it's really true. And I can still describe his whole personality and what he wore and how his behavior was. And he is until now still one of the most evilness I have ever witnessed. Now, that's the mosquito really tries to get me. But I wander off from, but it's great that to see questions, and thanks for joining all in the chat and on YouTube as well. And I for the first time am now on a later time live, because I love meeting also everyone from abroad, and I have friends who are subscribed from abroad in the USA, and I have friends who come from the USA, and I know they are watching. So thanks. And now it's nice to be alive. So which direction shall I go? Because are there questions about what I mentioned until now? Because I have it's such a big such subject, and maybe I should tell more about the core split. Why has the core split to be split? So with the trauma, heavy trauma, well, it has to be done between 1 year and a half until max, 5, maybe 6 years old. That should be already too old if you want to do a core split on a 6-year-old. Done to me as girl at that time, but there is a difference in also traumatizing and for the purpose of creating a personality split and a mind control with male. Males are, it works a bit different with male MKultras. It is a bit the same, but also not. There are differences. And that this core split is important, because if they have 2 divided core splits, literally that they don't, so the one doesn't know from the other, but in the first years of every child is strong. The soul and being of a child is so strong, so it contracts again. The soul always wants to contract and be whole again. And when as a child, and very little, between 1 year and a half to let's say 5, 6 years at the most, 4, 5, 6 years old, then that contracting of the core goes too quickly for the programmers. So the programmers, that's why they invented the traumas, the ongoing traumas, and traumas beyond anything. What I say it often in the live streams, but what I tell in the live streams is only maybe a few percentage of the 100% what I really had to undergo, and all the details and so on. So, and the basic traumas I mentioned in the very beginning of this live stream, that I was often buried alive. I had to think I was drowning in water already as a baby, put in an aquarium tank, and underneath the soil in coffins, in wells I was put together with rats or other cats or dead cats to traumatize me. And then what happens then is that the soul, being so often traumatized, that the soul doesn't want to contract any longer. And that is what the programmers want. And another thing is that because of the horrific traumas, and I did not even talk about the electroshocks, and that it is important that I had to go beyond death, not just once, but several times. And that's also the way why the soul or the core doesn't want to become whole again. So then literally only a tiny bit of the soul is left. And that is what the programmers also want, because otherwise my consciousness would be gone. So I would not have any consciousness about good, wrong, or senses, living life, being social, and so on. So that is the reason why it has to be done so young. That is also the reason why they choose specifically persons and children from mothers. Even mothers are being picked because of their roots and their stability. What I know, and what I also did not reveal yet in any live stream, is that I know that I had to relive the trauma done to the mother who I was born out of. It was like a carrying mother. Maybe is that a good word for that? Carrying mother, surrogate mother, and I never mentioned that because I was so scared of being found ridiculous. But I had to relive what the mom had to undergo while I was being born. And that was my first traumatic birth, as a person. And that was so incredible, awful. And I don't think I will ever be capable of mentioning how that happened. So that is the reason why the programmers at least repeat out of body experience as little as possible with traumas and electroshocks. The electroshocks were already done already also when I was very little, from a toddler, because in that way I would get used to that. And as it sounds weird, but in a certain way I got used to it, and at the other way, I was not getting used to it, if you know what I mean. So, I will get some drink. Ugh. Suddenly get itchy throat. Sorry. Hello, One Big Pawns. Welcome. Good day. Oh, so nice to see you all here. That's so great that I went live on a later time. I'm so grateful that I'm somehow being helped to go live later on, because there was a lot of resistance. I did another live stream I'm actually live since 7:30 in the Netherlands. And then I had a small hour break. I tried to sleep. Nope. I still recall that Barry said, take a power sleep. Barry Henderson, also great channel. And I have other moderators as well, Miss Vanity and Eric Vink, Soul Mirror. And they helped me also to help me, and in the beginning as well, to take care of negativity, which also came towards me. But to come back to Barry, that he said power sleep, power nap, did not work, Barry. Did not work out. No. So, that is a big part of the start of my life, and only trauma. And in the front life, also only trauma. Because what happens with creating a basic split, the two splits, by the way of MKultra, a very important thing is that one of the splits has to be not connected too often with new personalities, because otherwise, and they call that a blank split. So it needs to be cleared of too many personalities built upon. And I know exactly why, because that part carries the link to the core or to the soul. If that would be gone, then I think that then easily I would be no longer here on this earth and be alive. So, and it is already investigated, like mind control is already far, far older than this 1950s document of the MKultra, official MKultra. I know that in Egypt already was done mind control, MKultra, as well as Inca, how you say that? Is that the Inca world in South America as well? I was part of my programming, by the way, was that I also was forced to travel through time. So I did see also sacrifices and also mind control, also in South American tribes. And yeah, those were horrific things as well to witness, but that's a whole other subject. Maybe I will do that another live stream in the late night. But yeah, well, I get goosebumps. I already talked a lot. I hope I did not talk too much and all of a sudden too many things. Thanks for the shout out on both mediums, Monique. Hearts and warriors on your side with angels flow. Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much. That's beautiful described. Yeah, and it's so yeah, and I survived because of the presence of angels, and that's why I know there is God. Is God exists. Yeah, this for me not believe, it is for me knowing, and angels as well. Inca in South America, yes, yeah, and it's sad that so many beautiful cultures are being misled, and yeah, the sacrifices I witnessed, not only in satanic rituals but also in time travel, is beyond anything what I've seen in life and in my all my personalities. And I'm so luckily that I'm integrated now. So that is yeah, I'm very grateful, and that I'm now talking to you all, and that I did decide to to go live. I'm very grateful for that I went live and that you all are here. It's so nice to do a live stream, of which again that also the people from USA and other countries later in our time zone, other time zone, can join in my live stream. So, thank you so much. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. I have to drink again. Sorry, I had to check. I had a notification. And as I said, my journey started when I had that burnout in 2000, exactly 2000. And then I did not yet know that there was mind control and MKultra and military programming. The first memories were that of what I said earlier with the front dad and mom and the granddad. And the granddad was the evil man in the family, in the family. And he was, for the outside world, he was the great granddad, you know. Everyone was always so smiling when he came by, and he whistled a lot, and he was always happy. Well, he appeared happy, because I will never forget his grin, his laughter, and his whistle, what he whistled, melodies, and yeah, if I felt him coming, then I wanted to flee as a child. And yeah, the family did not see that I was. They did see that I was different. I was, for example, to describe how I was in that front life, of which was hidden what was done to me in secret, of course, with the sexual abuse, because that also happened, of course. And I'm very open in it. In the first live streams, I was pretty hesitated to. I felt hesitation to even mention the word sexual abuse. But I'm yeah, I'm now open to it, and I crossed the threshold to just openly talk about it. But I was next to sexual abuse, also tortured, and also in the front life, and specifically by the granddad, that I was closed up in closets. I was closed up in refrigerators. I'm not kidding. In the cellar, I was put in bags. How do you say that? These jute zakken. Well, there was one giant bag which was of cloth, and there I was put in. So they did all kinds of tricks and things to of course traumatize me. And I did not know that, but I know now that it was done to specifically keep the hidden MKultra traumas far from that I ever would uncover. And it's a great story. And let me know if it's not clear enough or if I'm going too fast. It's the first time I'm doing another summary of who I am and what is MKultra. So that's sorry. Well, thank you so much, Sunbeam Sting. You're too good. Oh, so nice. Thank you. Tony, it's a very touchy subject as well, Monique, with sacrifices to manipulation of minds are broken for the greed of a few. There has to be an awakening to have a revolution of any kind to break the pattern so many are enforced into without choice. Yeah, beautifully subscribed. Yeah, and that is I always felt a mission, and the dear friend who gives me shelter here, and the other person who lives here, but they know that I have a very strong mission about maybe have a part in it, that there will be a ripple effect in, especially that people start to realize that it does exist, that it's not something in between the head or conspiracy theory, but satanic rituals, demons exist. That it does exist, and children still disappear. And I was witness to a lot of trafficking as well. And sadly enough, in my programming, I also had to traffic my own children without, of course, wanting that. And it's horrible also how many I lost. If I literally say how many children I lost, I still did not dare to say that in a live stream publicly, how many children I lost, because I'm still scared of not being believed. And I was talking in the earlier live stream earlier, because I was earlier live already, but that I tried to explain how difficult the non-belief and that I was so often told, like, you will be never believed. But I also turned into, well, I better not say too many details. When I was starting to deprogramming and when the MKultra reliving started to surface, then I acknowledged that I was tough to be with friends. But with friends, I was just always very balanced, actually pretty balanced. Like, you would not notice that for example, that I met a friend, and that maybe an hour before that I was in a reliving, and I never ever really let go of my. I never really, how you say that, like going into the wild or was totally lost when I was with a friend. So. But then still I started to realize when I was saying too many details sometimes, and I stopped with that as well, then I started to withdraw as well, until I started to do the live streams, and I felt like, and now I want to speak out. And I wished I was speaking out earlier, but oh man, I wish that we as people could unite and say no. really say no to this evil, because I still see people I knew as child leading countries. I see people dividing countries, creating war, or some person I knew and I know he's part of it, and then and creates the image of I know how space looks, or contributes to a certain space project of which I know that is not accurate. Yeah, that is, and but I keep that for myself because yeah, it is always comes back to who believes me, and I know the majority of you do believe me, or start to recognize more and connect that something is wrong. But I wish other people, like for example, in my small world I'm living in, because I'm living inside my residence mainly to stay safe. Yeah, it is for me very confronting that besides my dear friend here and the other person, but besides that I see also her family members, of course. But yeah, I hardly see them because there is no connection, because yeah, they think I'm weird, you know? And that's sad. That makes me very sad. And I am not weird. I'm very I always was independent. I was even too independent in my front life. I was already as a teenager taking care of the front parents in a way that how could I do that with my MKultra? I was even helping the father in his business with administration. So I led an independent life. And I'm not crazy. And I never will be crazy. So but it is, I wish there was a way, you know, that there was a way to cause a ripple effect and that everyone would join in saying no. Because I think we are allowed to say a no. To just no. Let us unite, stand up now. And that's what I often say to myself, like, yeah, but yeah, the passion in me, freedom that every single person is free of speech, but has shelter, warmth, food, freedom. But yeah, and many of you are coming, I guess, from USA or abroad. Well, the Netherlands is not so free as they claim to be. And I know already ahead of the years that was what was introduced 3-4 years ago here. You know what I mean. Starts with a C and ends with a D. I knew already way before that it was heading into the wrong direction. Because I met all these world leaders and also of the Netherlands. And what saddens me is I can never talk about it. Because, yeah, it would be too clear who I mean. So some are already touched upon. And I mention no names, by the way. That's also my way of staying safe. Yeah, oh, thanks so much, Barry. Yeah, I'm also live on Twitter. Yeah, Twitter, it's great, Twitter live. Artus Liberalis, good introduction. Oh, thank you so much. Dividing people is an old tactic they often use. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And there should be a moment that it is possible that it will have that ripple effect. I truly, yeah, that's my mission. I have seen things in the visions and also in and with God. And yeah, I will not go into the details in that because then I put the power of the energy of it. And again, I feel then, yeah, but what does it bring if I say that? Sunbeam Sting, indeed, no is a powerful word, yeah. It's like we nowadays all have to say yes to everything, something. I think yes and no are both great words. People seem to become less free without knowing what freedoms they are giving away. Exactly, yeah, it's becoming more a prison without them knowing. It's a prison without bars. That's the sad thing. But yeah, another perfect day here in Queensland, Australia. Wow. Oh, that's nice. And I hope also warm, because here it's cold. Today was a cold day in the Netherlands. Nah, that's so nice. Thank you. Australia, also beautiful country. Queensland, that's a beautiful part. Greetings to Australia as well. And how is in Australia everything going with restrictions and so on? Is Australia still a bit feeling free, or if I can ask, Tony, you don't have to answer if it doesn't fit. So, yeah, and again, if someone has questions, just ask, or I should explain more, then I love to hear that. So this from 2000, I already mentioned. Then the first actual flashback, and it was immediately an extreme tough reliving, was actually pretty a bit one after the other. That was one of pregnancy, and I started to give birth. That was a sudden reliving, and I relived it all physically. And another one was with a president of the USA in 2006, was that reliving. And that was together with, I had a daughter. I wish I still had her, but she's not living any longer. And her name was Jennifer. And with her, I was the most times, going in the programming. So, for example, because I had then to act as, I was also literally her mom, but then as mother, daughter, then I could get through airports more easily because we were just a simple mother and daughter. And all kinds of things with presidents happened together with us. And with her, I have actually the most memories of being used and abused, and also together with presidents, sadly enough. Busy hour here, 8:30 a.m. Oh yeah, I can imagine. Nah, it's okay. I wanted to ask you how Australia was doing in feeling more restricted and rules and so on. But of course, yeah, 8:30 a.m. Wow. Yeah, and here it's almost 1 a.m. So time difference of 7.5 hours. And I'm not sure how long I will be live, as long as people still, like to join, or. But I did not even check how long I'm live now. How long am I live? I did not even check that. I think I can see that. Can I? Oh no, well, I'm a bit in a short break, I guess. But yeah, and because I chose to go live on a late hour, that invited me as well to see in the here and now, because I'm now more than a year further with when I started the live streams and my first interviews, and that I introduced myself, and now I introduced myself on my own grounding, and that was nice. It is nice. So, and I knew I wanted to do an introduction, but further on I did not know how it would unfold, the talk with you. And thanks, into 1 hour and 15 minutes. All right. Tony. I do feel those that needed to be awakened has reached a mass, yet the outlook is promising for the most. Yeah, I truly feel and know that love will victory, you know. I don't like the word win or but like I hear the word victorious. I love victory, victorious somehow. Well, hey Yoni, yeah, indeed, very yeah. I can do it apparently. The majority of times I am so tired that I need to sleep before 11 in the evening, and now I think I was helped. And I ate a bit before I went live and did some orange juice drink and tea, refreshing tea. Yeah, Yoni. Yeah, and it's but there are people from abroad, so that's why mm, I talk English. Mm, I heard in the Netherlands they are going to vote soon on the pandemic preparedness measures act on. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, that's in the Netherlands a law. They want to go to uh, force a law which will always be a certain. Yeah, that minister has a certain power, but I think Barry can maybe better make a summary of that. But it's a wicked law. And as in the house here, the person told me that it was now the last um, chance to say no, or otherwise it would be fixed forever. But I'm not sure if that's accurate. Tony, the 15-minute cities and the digital currency with take hold here. For it does seem Australians trust their suppressors more than their own freedoms. They really do require other to think for them. Wow, that's sad, huh? While I looked upon Australia also a lot because it's such a broadened country and with also people who, yeah, how can I say that? Who also have to take care of themselves, especially also, of course, the people living in the countries and so on. But I was actually a bit surprised that when I heard that earlier from Australian people, but I was also a bit surprised because I know they're also very, yeah, um, in the roots for freedom or something. But hmm, nice to get to know your from other countries how it's really going. Yeah, of course, Joni. But thanks for joining a bit. It's a late hour, so I'm still doing okay. I'm not that tired. And I'm not sure again how long I will go live, but I did my introduction and I was thinking about should I say more. I did already tell a lot, but having the love of family and the wealth of health supersedes all other control. Oops, I got the hiccups. I'm sorry. I drank too fast, I think. But it is true, and love is a strong, strong energy. Yeah? Love conquers everything. And conquers is again the wrong word, but you know what I mean. By the way, I think I again cross posted. I did not even check that. I think I'm also on TVOP and in the Vini. Hello, dear people, if you are there. I think I again cross posted. I'm not even sure. Um, okay. that is in the Winnie. I am cross-posting there. TVOP. So, yeah, what can I say more? Where was I? There's so much to say about mind control and how it was set up. I think that would be a too long of a story if I would make it too extended. And yeah, would you like to have more live streams like this at this hour, or is later even better? Yeah, have a good sleep, Jorni. Of course. Sleep well. Have a great rest. So I choose in 2010, as I said, that I met then the latest president at that time in 2010, and from that time I'm living inside the house, so not seeing hardly anyone, and that got even less and less past 2010 when I decided to stay inside my residence. Until a year and a half ago, that I started to also go more outside and do long walks, which I love. I love walking in nature. I cannot without it with nature. So I learned to appreciate, of course, by being inside. That's the other side of it. That I learned to love even more and appreciate what I have. And yeah, that is amazing, besides the deprogramming effect of all the time being inside and living together, because I was always independent and it was a hard choice for me to become dependent. That is what I never really can explain, how tough that is. I still have trouble. Even today, I had again an argument, and that is all done in love. It would be not a harsh argument, but that is always the same. Like, I didn't dare to ask for something, and then I was too late, and ask for support in a very, very, actually, it was about some honey, to buy some honey. And that's not only in the honey, it's almost in everything. And yeah, my dear friend here is so understanding in that, and so loving, and endless patience in that. But sometimes, we just have an argument because I don't dare to ask for then refill of honey. And she says like, you just ask. But for me, still, after 10 plus years, I still have trouble asking. So I am independent woman. I guess that's a good sign. But those are the not so perks of deprogramming. Yeah. But I'm craving for life. I'm craving to be in life and living love, love in all its levels, all its splendor, and and I am, but and on YouTube, so nice to see you all. Oh, was now on TVOP. I forgot to look there, to watch there. Yeah, that's mostly quiet there. And on Rumble, I didn't see anyone comment. Hello, Relish. I see now someone in the chat in Rumble. Oh, that's sharing a link. Ah, and 5 people are watching. All right. Thanks so much to followers on Rumble Extra. That's nice. Thanks so much if you're still watching. And maybe, yeah, I will head for a closure because I do feel start to feel my tiredness, and I said already quite a lot, and I think Sunbeam's thing before you go to bed and everyone else. Was it a bit an okay introduction? I believe I'm pretty feeling okay with it, and for the first time going live at such a late hour for me, not for many of you, of course, but that's maybe nice to also go to a closure. And suddenly the energy dropped. Yeah, of course, Sunbeam's thing. Well, I'm not sure if there will be a rest, a rest of a live stream. And again, that funny bear emote. Oh, thank you so much. So, if there are no other questions, then I might go for my bed rest, for my much needed rest. And I was live from 7:30, so I did pretty well for so long. Live streaming. That's all together 7:30 to 10:10. So 7:30. So that's I even cannot count any longer. 2.5 hours, I believe. And now again, plus 1.5 hours. Nah, I did well. I'm talking out loud. So, dear people, I think I will go for my for my rest. As I said, I don't know how to say closure. Super interesting. Ah, thanks. And would you like another one when I go later, or is maybe later even more preferable? But it's a bit a tryout, but I really am planning on doing this more often. And certainly because we're heading here in the Netherlands for spring, summer. So then most of the time when it is in the summer months, then I am more in a later hour still active and energetic. So, all right, thanks. Okay, well then I would say and also many thanks to Barry, of course, for all the everywhere on all the platforms. Thanks for mentioning and the bio links, and thanks so much. Artis Liberalis also want to hear more. Yeah? And so let's do that next time, maybe even next week, and then I will communicate also on my timeline, and I will also do post on YouTube. I forgot that today, but that I will post on my YouTube when I will go live, also on a later hour. And even if I would want to continue my story, I did not know where I ended up with. I think this was a great first introduction. Maybe it's a good time to close off this live stream. And thank you everyone for who is listening. I appreciate you all for also being here and just listening. That's fine too. And you were here. That's the most important thing. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, by the way. It's for me really, I love coming back on a late hour. And if you like to know when I'm live, then check my YouTube or my post or my social media. I have so much. So, well, dear everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here again. I wish you all a good rest or a good start of the day, like in Australia. Only the day started. And that's also so actually pretty funny as well, with all the time zones. Very, yeah. Yeah, it's nice, to meet you in this hour together. So, okay, dear people, I again wish you well, and see you. Love to see you next time. And everyone here in the Netherlands and in Europe, sleep well, I would say. So I will end this live stream. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, Tony. And hope to see you also next time. Like many times I cannot say goodbye. How do I end a live stream? It's funny that it is a bit different than when I am in my other live streams, because I enjoy it so much that I have now more people from abroad, and I've, yeah, that's so nice. I really enjoy it. So then I also cannot say good night or good day, but it's good. It's good the way it is, and see you all next time. All right, everyone. Ciao, and again, I'm grateful that you are here. All right, see you next time, everyone. Bye bye.